Okay, you ready for a garden tour? We're going to start over here in the corner. It's 2025, and this is the start of our garden. So, these are going to be collards. I do have a few marigolds on the end here, but I kept accidentally chopping them down as I was cleaning up this bed for the collards. So hopefully they'll make it, but if not, I'll go ahead and plant some more. So here are some onions. Now, if this garden looks quite different from the previous ones, it is because we are trying something new. We are trying to do a hand-till method, and so far we are loving it. Lots of work, but it's good for us and our bodies, so we are totally happy with it. These are all onions. They need to be cleaned out a little bit more, but they're still thriving. See, here's one right here. They're doing great. These are garlic and onion too. The garlic is here. The onion is down this way. So we have the collards bordered by onion and garlic. Okay, so now we're over here to where we just planted. This is a actual volunteer cucumber plant. It's either cucumber or squash. Can't remember which one, but it's a volunteer one. It's come back. We did not plant it, and I said, you know what? We are going to welcome all the volunteers we can get. We didn't even have to do anything, and they came back. We actually have a few of them that are volunteers here, and I'm not sure if I'll keep them over there or not, but we'll see. This is a volunteer cucumber or squash plant. I'm not sure. And we just did this kind of like square plot land. Here's the thing. We are not tilling up the whole garden. Can you see that? That's the first time we've ever done this. We are only tilling up by hand what we need. So whatever we're going to plant, we till up a plot, plant it. The rest of it is going to be weeds and grass, and we're going to mow around it and just, keep it down. So far, it's been working. It has not been as cumbersome as when we till up the whole garden. So we are learning a lot. So here is this is a melon, and it's called, we got this from, I think it was, Home Depot. Yeah, it's right there on the tag, dude. Aphrodite cantaloupe. Never had those before. We're going to try them. Our cantaloupe all died last year. We had a horrible time. That one's already trying to flower. We do have a squash plant here. It's zucchini. Just a regular zucchini that we typically plant. And next to it, we have, I think it's another melon. So we have another melon here, and then we have another melon here that is a Japanese one. Never had this before, so we're going to try it. It was looking pretty rough because it was in its container too long, so we're hoping it just springs right back to life once it is in the ground now. So the plan is to plant 2 to 3 more zucchinis. So this is zucchini, another zucchini here, and maybe another zucchini here. We're not sure. I was going to do every other, but because we were all out here planting, when you finally start planting, you get excited about it. You just start planting stuff, and your plans can go out the window sometimes. So, and you switch things up. We're going to see how this is going to work. We still have to plant watermelon somewhere. Not sure where. We got plenty of space. Over here are some more marigolds at the end of these 2 rows. This is green beans in this row. We just planted these last night. Not last night. We just planted them today. Okay, so these are 2 rows of green beans. And then there are 3 rows of corn. We planted these last week, and they are already growing. So we're super excited to have some corn. Some of it we're going to put up. Some of it we're going to be eating this summer. Over here is peppers. There's a pepper plant right here which was an accident. We forgot about this guy and decided to just plant him right outside the tomato plants. Why not? They don't get very big. The tomato plant, there's a tomato plant here, and all three of these guys, okay, these are my babies that I grew from seed, that I saved from our last year tomato harvest. So these are seeds from last year. Very proud of them. They're doing great. We planted these last week and they were just so little. They've gotten so much bigger just from today. Oh, let me just go over here right next to it. I might as well. These are more tomatoes. These are the same ones as those. They are Abe Lincoln tomatoes, and they were planted last week too, and they're growing just fine. This one over here I haven't checked on. It was definitely struggling, but it looks like it's doing okay, so that's good. Over here is where we're planting, or where we planted peppers. So some of these peppers will be stored, some of these peppers will be eaten for the summer, but all the little peppers that are in the ground, like this one here, this is a little one, and this one, I planted those are my babies. And this one is a Bonnie bell pepper plant. It's just, the other bell pepper plant is a Bonnie one and it's red. This one is green. So that's going to be our groceries for this summer. It's red and green peppers from the garden. And then these other peppers, I got a ton of them because I grew a ton of them because I want to make not only freeze green peppers, but also I really want to make some salsa because I love making homemade salsa. So tons of peppers for homemade salsa. There's peppers here. These are all my babies. And then over here we have a little spot, which I don't know what happened here, but I feel like this was not cleaned out well. Okay, well, I'll figure it out later. But these are tomato plants. These are just beef steak tomatoes. These are the ones we are going to be eating for our groceries this year. And I have tons and tons of other tomatoes that I have to get out here so that I can make salsa and tomato sauce and can whole tomatoes and bag whole tomatoes from the Abe Lincoln ones. We have some down there, and then we have cherry ones. I'm going to be planting a lot of tomatoes this year because I plan on canning as much as I can and freezing as much as I can for the winter. Now that I know how to make my own tomato sauce. It's delicious. It's my favorite sauce ever, and yeah. Okay, so this is the rest of the garden. These are potatoes. We planted these a few weeks ago. They are doing amazing. Typically, when we plant tomatoes or potatoes, they just get so overwhelmed with weeds. And it just got to this week, or I think it was last week, where a lot of the little tiny weeds started popping up. So that is amazing. Like, that's a huge difference. We typically have the worst time with weeds when we till with a regular tiller, because it's tilling up all the dirt, and so it's making it so much easier for these weeds to thrive, and it's like making it harder for the good food and the stuff you need to maintain its water levels and its nutrients. That hand tilling that we've done this year, which we are using a broad fork form. Over here is where my small little patch of cabbage is. I did this last year just to see what would happen. I actually planted cabbage in front of the potatoes or tomatoes that were here last year. And we just did tomatoes this way. We usually do the tomatoes down here, like farther down. But this year we did the potatoes. I mean, the potatoes here this year. Usually there are tomatoes here. Well, I planted cabbage right in front of those tomatoes, and they thrived and loved it there. And we didn't have any problems. So we planted some cabbage here. I will be planting more cabbage near the tomatoes. We have broccoli here, but this is getting out of control. This was a strawberry bed, and I tore it down, and I wanted to make it into my carrot bed, and for some reason, no matter what I do in this area, it always ends up like this. It's something about boxing this in that's just not working. Like, there's tons of carrots in there growing, but the weeds I just cannot handle. And I'm going to try to clean this up, but there's so much that I have to do. I'm just hoping that I would be able to get to it. There's broccoli in there. You can see them growing right here. And then there's carrots in here. The carrots are right here. Look at this. This is a big carrot. They're thriving. They're doing fine. It's just, I gotta get that weeded. Here, this is a goji. I think this is a goji one. A goji plant. A goji berry plant. It's getting really big this year. So that will bear fruit for us. And then, blueberries. They're already starting to get ready to be picked. We picked some this morning. The baby ate them. Look how pretty they are. They're so gorgeous. They're getting blue so fast. They needed this rain that we just had. There's blackberry bushes here, but the problem is, not blackberry bushes, elderberries. There are elderberry bushes here, but my husband chopped 2 of them down on accident when he was weed eating over here. So I told him, like, stay away from my areas where my bushes are. Like, dude. So I told him I would just hand cut the grass myself around here, and hopefully these babies will come back. These 2 will come back. And as they get bigger, I won't have to do all that. But here's one of them that's thriving. It's doing amazing. And these guys are, like, I get the goji berries mixed up, and then I get these mixed up with the goji berries. So I forgot what these are, but this is another Asian plant. And it makes, like, these little red berries on it. Heard that they weren't as good as, like, a blueberry or a strawberry, but I specifically wanted this plant for its purposes, medicinal purposes, and its beauty purposes, because I could use its fruit for beauty purposes. So so before I go in the house, guys, so that's what, for one, that's everything. Like, that's all of the garden stuff and all, like, the food stuff for the house. I have herbs and stuff and strawberry stuff up above, like, up separate from the rest of the house. But I'm sure you guys already have that video up. Hopefully the video is already up where I showed you guys what I have for herbs and stuff like that, and where I've planted them. They're near my flowers, where I get my fresh cut flowers and bring them in the house and enjoy them forever because they're free. But I just want to say this, like, this year has been such a blessed year here in this part of Kentucky. I can't even describe to you how honestly grateful I am for the ability to pray and ask God for all of my needs to be met through Him. We've had the most amazing weather for June right now. It's still really nice at night and lightly humid, but not too much. And even though the rains have been really catastrophic for some people in this state, they've been wonderful here for us, especially since we flood over here too, and it hasn't been too bad. It's also been like the rain has came at the perfect amounts of times where it's been dry, and we've definitely needed it. And so I've been working with the weather when it comes to when to plant and when to go work in a garden. I've just allowed myself to be led by what the weather patterns are doing and to pray over the weather as well. And God has answered every prayer. He has blessed us beyond measure, and everything that we're growing is producing and growing well, and we don't have a ton of bug issues like we typically do, it is not lost on me that this year is different, and I know why. Because I began to pray differently. So I'm super blessed, and I always want to give God glory for it because it's nothing special that I do. I know it's God giving me the wisdom, the ability physically, and the favor over the weather and over everything that's been going on here, because I've seen years where it hasn't been this way. So I know it's God. He's given me the wisdom and the understanding on how to do this differently than I've done in the past. How to plant properly, how to hand till, all this stuff is Him. It's things that I've prayed about. It's things that I've wished I had the ability to pay for even. Because those broad forks are expensive. God has provided for us that we may afford them. So I'm super blessed, and I always want to give Him glory no matter what. And I guess I'll see you guys because I gotta go back in the house, get dinner started, and get babies cleaned up. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope your gardening is going well. If you're here in the US and it's about time to garden, I hope it's going great. And if you're in the fall season, I hope your season was amazing. And now that your fall season is giving you rest, and you can sit back and enjoy all the fruits of your labor. If not, maybe later. You can pray for next year and get exactly that. You get very blessed and have a wonderful fall season where you've been able to enjoy the fruits of your labor and been prosperous. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.